All right, we'll call the Community Development and Strategic Planning Committee to order, and if you call the roll, please, Lori.
Sure. Commissioner Collins?
Here.
Commissioner Cross?
Here.
Commissioner Dierzynski?
Here.
Commissioner Engel?
Here.
Commissioner Jagger?
Here.
Commissioner Longmire?
Present.
Commissioner Mahoney?
Here.
Commissioner Plummer?
Here.
Commissioner Snyder?
Here.
Commissioner Wilkins?
Here.
Commissioner Smolnick?
Here.
Thank you.
Okay, we have a quorum. Thank you very much. First item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes for the March 15th.
So moved. Second.
Okay, we have a motion that's been seconded. Any comments? Vote then. All those in favor of approving the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Minutes are approved. The next item, we have a presentation. Andrew Hahn from downtown Muskegon now. Andrew, if you could just introduce yourself.
Thanks for having me today, Andrew Hahn, downtown Muskegon now. I want to talk a little bit about our Grand Trunk Depot project. It's been almost a year since I came up here and asked for the option to purchase the building and kind of talk about our vision for it. And we've had some really great strides, but I realized that 10 months had gone by and we were kind of getting towards where that option was about to run out. So here's a photo of the building as it was in 1910. If you go to the next one. I'm sorry, can you give me And for like the last 40 years, the building had just been used for storage. First by the Muskegon Castings Company, and then I believe the county owned it for about 20 years. So that's what the building looked like when we first got our hands on it and got to get in there. The facilities people were very helpful and cleared it out, did a great job for us. Go to the next one, please. Okay. And this shows the exterior of the building. It had been boarded up for presumably all that time. I saw a photo from 1975. That same thing, sitting there, boarded up, secured, under good stewardship, but not much had been done with it. And as I mentioned when I first came up, our vision was to not only get the building rehabilitated, but to help create some momentum around that corner of that area of downtown and some excitement. We plan on doing a startup business contest there once we've raised the money. And we asked for that year before purchasing the building to make sure that we didn't want to buy this if we didn't think we could make this happen and have it just sit and languish, So the first thing that we did shortly after taking control of this option, if you go to the next one, please. I'm sorry to keep interrupting your work. We applied for a grant that came up from the State Historic Preservation Office and MISHDA and the Michigan Historic Preservation Network. And what that was for was to train unemployed and underemployed craftsmen how to rehabilitate double-hung wood windows. Here in Muskegon, we didn't have anyone offering that service, and consequently, a lot of the homes in the historic districts were getting vinyl replacements, which I could go on at length as to why there's a lot of reasons it's better to stick with the original material from efficiency, sustainability, etc. So upon being granted that grant, which was had a value of about $25,000, we put a RFP out for applicants for this program. We got about 40 people that applied. We selected them. We worked with the people from Lansing and some local folks and picked 13 people. They came in for 2 weeks and were taught these skills. And throughout that, you go to the next one. You can jump ahead to. Thank you. Throughout that, these folks learn skills that they're able to apply to a business. 4 out of the 13 have since gone on to take on work doing this in the area. Of those 13, 9 were local. There were 4 from outstate. So that went really, really well. If you go on to the next one, it just shows a little more of the work. Every window in that building has been taken out, completely rebuilt, new glazing. Everything's been done. The windows have been stripped. You can literally open them with like a finger. It's amazing. All new ropes in the windows. So the building's had about a $10,000 improvement done to it, and it's in much better shape than it was. If you go to the next one, please. And upon doing that, we did a press conference. We had a bunch of folks from the state, including the state historic preservation officer down here, and it's kind of helped get a little bit more recognition of our efforts here in Muskegon and bring some attention to what, the plight of the historic building stock that we have, which has been kind of languishing. If you, for those of you that have been here for 40 years, if you look at an aerial photo from 1970 and look at one today, there's about 200 fewer buildings downtown. So we're kind of using this to draw attention to that and saving what we have. That's one of the biggest challenges in my work is someone wants to bring us a bicycle shop to downtown. They're not going to build a new building for it on the mall site, unfortunately, and we don't have very many available spaces. So ultimately, that's going to be our hope with it. I just have a couple more here real quick. This is one of the craftsmen showing, who's that, me and I think that's Mike Oltoff, how the windows work. And then as part of this, go on please. We did get some pretty good coverage in the Chronicle. We got the front page. We brought some attention to the project and to the building. That was in late November when that wrapped up. And right after that, we slowly started to roll out our capital campaign. You can go to the next one. We just recently launched a website. I'm sorry, this is so small. We have a website you can go to and click to donate that has a lot of information on it. I did give Lisa Chalco some flyers on that. You'll all find in your mailboxes. And go one more, please. We've also started to reach out to a lot of the larger donors and philanthropists in the community. We have a $25,000 commitment from one of them. We project it to cost about $155,000, and that's if you pay for every single piece of material and every hour of labor. So we're confident we can get to that number of 155. We're asking for another year to try and make that happen. That's some more of our materials. And then we've also just recently shot a video that will be used. If you go just to the last one, I don't know if any of you have heard of crowdfunding, but it's something where you put up on a website, you do a video for your project, and it's shared on social networks. And the whole idea is that if you share this to thousands and thousands of people, if you give $3, that all adds up. So, excuse me. We're about to launch a crowdfunding page in another week or so. So, are there any questions I can answer about the project?
When they started that project, I saw it open, I happened to stop and see the workers that you're talking about, the basement. Are you building a pool down there?
Well, we're hoping. My ice skating rink outside didn't work this well this year, so maybe in the basement.
No, but there
is about a foot of standing water in there. That was built, there was a creek bed that went right through there, and pretty much every building along Western Avenue has sump pumps running. And it's our intention to fill it to the high water mark, just with sand, and then cap it, and there would still be a 5-foot crawl space down there.
It is a tall basement.
Yeah, rather than dealing with multiple sump pumps and emergency generators, and there's no interior access to the basement, so it's not a really usable basement as is. You got to go outside. So that's the intent right now.
But the structure is not damaged by that standing water.
It's rock solid. We've had people in the basement, in waiters, inspect it. And I should mention also that as part of this, the city helped us out. They did an asbestos survey in there, so they hired a consultant to come in. The only asbestos in the building is on the pipes that are on the existing furnace, which will come out in the basement, and then also in the caulk on the windows. Not the glazing, but where the windows are actually framed in. So very minimal. We got lucky there.
Andrew, just for clarity, the end result of this project is to be what? And after you answer that question, is there any aesthetics to be done to the outside of the building?
It doesn't need much on the exterior. I guess I'll speak to your first question. Our intent when this is done is to do a startup business contest, both to give somebody some help starting a new business and to kind of generate some excitement. And it's something we've not seen done anywhere. We've seen there's a model in Detroit that was done, but it was basically a grant and then you got to go do your business wherever you wanted. There's not been one where you win win subsidized rent and business services for a location. So what will happen is, as we're wrapping this up and we're confident that we have the money we need to do this, we'll go out to the public and solicit them for ideas for a new business. It's still not firmly defined, but we want it to be something that's not currently offered downtown. We would give preference to something that's locally owned. The more unique, the better. The better pitch you give us, the better. And then we'll take the top 10, vet them internally through our board, and choose those, and then work with SCORE and the Small Business Technology Development Center to make sure they have a legitimate business plan, that they can make a go of it. And once we're sure of that, we're going to put it out to the public again for online voting. So the public will get to pick what they want in this business, or in this building. And then at that time, they'll get subsidized rent for the first year or two. We're looking to put together a suite of business services such as web design and branding for this new startup business, a couple hours of legal services, etc. So there's a lot of pieces to the project. We've made a lot of progress, but frankly, this is like this much of my job. We have a lot of other projects going too, so I've not been able to give it the attention I would like to, but my board has other priorities for me, and I have to respect that. So.
That's to the aesthetics.
Oh, sorry. Really, there's not much that it needs. We did the windows. I mean, there's some painting of the overhangs. The upper windows in the dormers have been painted over, so we would strip those. The roof was replaced 10 or 12 years ago, and the roof's good. So on the exterior, it literally looks like it did 104 years ago. I mean, you can barely tell the difference. So.
Is that the look you going for?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So.
Andrew, you're preferring like a retail business in there, right? I mean, not an office.
Yeah, I didn't mention that. Our goal is for it to be something that'll be a generator of traffic too. That'll be kind of an anchor to that little area, because there's several other buildings there that are pretty ripe for redevelopment. And if you've got, the one that always pops to mind to me is a coffee shop, but something like that, we've got people coming and going. We don't want to go through this whole exercise to rent it to accountants, or no offense to accountants, but something that can go anywhere that doesn't necessarily need a really unique thing. We want it to be something where people are going to go and really enjoy being in the space. So I would encourage any of you that haven't been there to come check it out sometime.
What if the accountants brought $100,000 with them?
I would, with your blessing, hand over the keys probably. So.
Does anybody ever look into a bicycle rental or something down there? Because like Montague and all them had that.
I had a gentleman, we had an open house last night, and there was a gentleman in there with a tape measure who wants to do ice cream and a bicycle rental. So it's definitely on people's minds, and it's something we could use downtown.
Yes.
Okay, anybody else? Andrew, thank you very much.
Thank you all.
Okay, the next item is public comment on an agenda item. Does anyone in the audience have any comments on an upcoming agenda item? If not, we'll move on. The first item for consideration is CDSP 12/04-04. It's to approve a request for proposals for development design of the 2013 Muskegon County Visitor Center.
So moved.
Okay, are there any questions? I know that we have our resource person here. Is there any questions on this? If not, we'll vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, that item passes. The next item is CDSP 12/04-05. And this is a motion to approve the extending of the option agreement for that Grand Trunk Depot was just requested.
So second.
Motion by Mr. Mahoney. I think we've had a good explanation of why this is coming before us. Any discussion on this item? Okay, if not, we'll vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That item passes. Congratulations, Andrew. Next item is old business. Does anyone have any items of old business? New business. I have one item. Mr. Lucas, our CDB director, would like to just give us just a quick demonstration of his new website. So,
Thank you, Commissioners. Bob Lukens, Community Development Director. I'm just going to give you a quick overview of the new CVB website. It is not live yet, but it's out on the net, and you can see right here, well, it's not out on the net, it is out there, but it's
It's in the intranet.
it's on the intranet,
Yes.
within the company. So it is here, and Lori, if you don't mind, let me just make a move here. Here's the mouse. It'll just be a little easier to do it from here.
if I may ask, is the developer here?
Yes,
Okay.
Laura Holmes from Fine Line Creative is here. She and her team, plus the county and the CVB team, all worked on this website. The idea is, our current website it's kind of cluttered when you look at it. It's hard to find some information, and information isn't presented in the best way it could be. So what we've tried to do with this design is simplify things and make it easy for people to get around, so they can find the information they're looking for, find the websites they're looking for, and come to Muskegon County. That's the ultimate motive with this website. But here's the home page. The slideshow on the front here can be changed out. The Hot Rod Power Tour, as you see right here, will be a clickable link. It isn't at this point, but it will be in the future. So some of these photographs on the slideshow will be clickable links for festivals and events that are coming up. So people can click on that and take them to the Hot Rod Power Tour site. On the right-hand side, we have featured events. Those are all clickable links too. This is an open house at the Lake Express. Some of these may not be live yet, but it will take you to various events. You can download a visitor guide here or sign up for our e-newsletter. Weather is located on the left-hand side too. That's always something good to check before you come over to the west side of Michigan. The events portion of the site here has a brand new calendar that also leads to different websites and additional information for on all the events that are happening within Muskegon County. As you can see, it gives you about 4 or 5 days, and then some of the featured events are on the left side, or the right side rather. The play portion of the site has some of our major attractions: Michigan's Adventure, Lake Express, the Winter Sports Complex, beaches and parks, Port City Princess, some of the other amenities that we have here. Several pictures. The state portion, of course, is our hotels, bed and breakfasts, lodges, cottages, camping, and a variety of other information for folks that are looking for that information.
What is that house right there on the left back? Right?
This is Cocoa Cottage up in Whitehall.
Oh,
It's a bed and breakfast. Beautiful place.
It is decent.
The eat portion is the restaurants, of course. Those all link to those that have websites. They talk about the cuisine that the restaurants serve, address, phone, other information. Shop. Shopping centers, farmers markets, galleries, antiques. We have some of the shopping areas are included here. Food court, downtown Muskegon, Lakeside District, Montague and Whitehall, Muskegon Heights. And then the shopping centers, and some farmers markets, galleries, and many of these also link off to the businesses themselves. So those businesses will also see that the traffic is being driven from the county website to their business. Let's see what else we have. The Discover, that takes us into the museum performing arts portion of the site. And there are links here in the introductory paragraphs. And then there's links over on the left-hand side. The blog is, that's where I get to talk. So I just put a little introductory couple paragraphs in here, and I'll be going in and updating that on various things that are happening, events that are happening in the area. Very brief little snippets of information for folks. Then we go up to the top, and we have the actual sales portion of the site, the meeting and event planners. that gives a direct link to our tourism specialist, Kristen Knopf, at the CBD. And she can answer any question that people would have, that meeting planners or event planners would have. Kristen can answer those questions. There's the convention services are there, and our convention or our conference facilities and hotels that can handle meetings and larger events. Stadiums, colleges, and then our theaters and special event venues. Again, we'll be filling this in, as you can see here for Baker College. We didn't have a picture, so we just left the LC Walker Arena photo in there as a placeholder. But we'll be filling in the rest of the site with the information that's required. Group planners, we have lists of, we have attraction list information for group planners, and these are folks that bring motor coaches into the area with various groups, high school groups, senior groups, bank travel, other planners that are looking for information for small groups. That opened into a different window. But they can also find out hotel and motel motor coach policies and the various services that the hotels themselves provide to the motor coach operators when they come into the area, such as comp policies, welcome receptions, those sorts of things. And then the media portion. We have a press release section here. We have a couple of Matt's press releases there, and we'll be able to constantly update press releases there. And they go into PDF files from any organization that we want here in the county. We can add information. But, you know, this would be targeted mainly to people from outside the area, so we wouldn't necessarily need to put in very localized information in the press release portion of it. But if it would affect people coming into the area, we can put them here. Then we have the assets portion with CVB logos and various photos of the region. And of course, the contact area where people can request additional information. The Getting Here portion that includes maps, various maps from the county. We have our Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube links there. On the bottom of the page, we have links to the Chamber of Commerce, the Muskegon Chamber of Commerce, the White Lake Chamber of Commerce, the Lodging Association, Film Muskegon, and then we have the new app that the Muskegon Chamber is going to be releasing within about the next week or so. And this application has many tourism amenities on it. So we partnered with them to provide this app to people from outside the area that would be interested in learning more about Muskegon. So anyone can get this app, you know, from around the world for their smartphones. There's iPhone and Android capabilities there. So again, we're putting the finishing touches on it. It'll be ready to roll by next Friday, and it should be live by then. And if I encourage you to go take a look at it when it does go live, look around, send us your comments. We'd be happy to, you know, work through anything that you may find wrong with it, God forbid. But you know, if we can, if you have a suggestion that we can improve on the site, let us know, and we'd be happy to do that. Any questions?
The comment looks pretty nice, like it is already, so good job.
Great, thank you.
Did we have, was there anything like this? I mean, I know we had a website before, but I mean, was this completely different?
It was quite a bit different, and it was just frankly kind of hard to navigate. So I had a hard time navigating it myself when I was checking out the job here, and I heard from some other people, you know, that it was kind of hard to find information on it. So I thought one of the first things we should do is you know, take a close look at the website and make it more user friendly. Because, you know, nowadays people just look for things really quickly, and if they don't find it, they'll go elsewhere. So I think the site does a good job of providing that information for people, and I think as it evolves, it'll provide even more information, and we'll find new uses for it.
Yeah, Bob, when you go to the stay, can you book a room through this? I mean, can you link on here and go to, say, the Holiday Inn and book a room from this site?
From our site now, you cannot do that, and the hotels would rather people book through their corporate sites.
But are we able to, you know what I'm getting at, this was a question we had when you said in your interview that you could keep track of people who are leisurely. We can keep track of people who come in on events, but leisurely, can we can keep track how many hits we're having at
Yes.
people going to hotels though, right?
Going to the various hotel sites?
Right.
Yes, you
Okay.
should be able to.
So that will give us a sense of how many people are coming in, yeah, okay.
And that is a discussion in the future that I'd like to have with the hotels. I mean, I broached the subject this year already about putting a widget onto our site that would allow for hotel bookings directly from our site. But what happens with that is they usually take out a bit of money from that. And the hotels would rather have everyone go to their site so they get the full price for the room. So, we'll approach that in the future, because I'd ideally like to be able to allow people to go onto our site and book rooms right there.
Anybody got any other questions? I would like to pay a compliment to Bob Lukens. He's been all over. I mean, I see him in the community, I hear about him. I also would invite the other commissioners or anybody who'd like to attend. He's the main program on April 27th, Friday, for the next chamber early bird breakfast. So we can go in and pepper him with questions that he can't answer. You want to say anything about that, or?
That's just next Friday at 7:30, I believe, in the morning.
It's, yeah, it starts at 7:30, but it's 7 o'clock to 7, really you should get there about 7:15.
Hopefully I won't bore everyone.
I'm sure you won't.
No.
Anybody have any other questions? If not, Bob, thank you very much. That's great. And Laura, good job.
Thanks, Bob.
Okay, any other new business? Public comment? Anybody have any public comment they'd like to make? If not, motion to adjourn. All those in favor?
Figure out what we want.
All right.
So you turned it off?
Let's do it right now.